Hey everybody, Ryan McCaffrey with IGN here. I am joined by fellow veteran PC gamer, Steve Butts.
Hey Ryan, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm a longtime Thief fan. Steve, we were talking off the air. No joke, Thief 2, in my opinion, is the best stealth game ever.
Yeah, I would have a hard time arguing that. I mean, there have been plenty of other good games since then, but Thief to me, yeah, emphasizes the stealth-based gameplay. A lot of games have kind of used this, so people who aren't familiar with the old series may look at this and say, oh, they're copying Dishonored, they're copying Assassin's Creed.
It's actually the opposite. They copied Thief.
That those guys totally stole from Thief. So, yeah, this is one of my favorite game series. I'm so glad that we're seeing it, and glad that we're seeing it without that silly 4 in the title.
Yeah, they were wise enough to get rid of that one. But I am a little disappointed that this is a reboot. Now, I got a chance to play this. I played about 2 hours of this game a couple months ago. You can read the preview on IGN, and I don't like that they got rid of the voice actor, Steven Russell. He was such a great, just signature voice, and the new guy is very, he's younger. He just sounds very generic. It just could be anybody, but that's...
It's like Indiana Jones without his hat, right? Like, you need that Steven Russell performance to sell Garrett.
I agree. But the good news is, as Thief has been in development by the folks at Eidos Montreal, the same people responsible for Deus Ex Human Revolution, which is another game that obviously brought back an extremely revered PC series. So that immediately gave us hope, but this game has been the subject of a little bit of, not controversy, that's too strong a word, but just some strong fan feelings because old school fans like you and I feel so strongly. We love Thief so much. We don't want to see anything bad happen to it.
And I will say, I do feel, as excited as I am by this trailer, I feel like the intensity of it drastically misrepresents the game that I want to play, right? Thief should be about long periods of quiet crouching and sneaking, and there's a lot of tension and anxiety in that. It doesn't necessarily work in a trailer, so I understand why they did this, but you could be forgiven for looking at this and saying, oh, this is just another dumb action movie type sequence, right? When in reality, a lot of Thief is kind of boring if you're not playing it.
Well, yes, that's the keyword if you're not playing it. This is not one to sit around and watch your friends play.
Right.
It is a slow-paced game on purpose, and you can absolutely still play it in the old-school way. And the things I wanted to highlight in this trailer, Steve, are actually not even necessarily anything specific that we're seeing on the screen, because this is mostly a story trailer here. But because of feedback, now, number one, first of all, I would like to applaud how ridiculously first-person this game is. Like, you see the hands, you get the body motion, you get everything. Because even the third Thief game, which was for the original Xbox as well as PC, had the nerve to go third-person.
Right.
Although you could fortunately switch it right back. So here you see some actual thievery going on. But what I wanted to point out was that over the course of this game's development, the developers have swallowed their pride on a number of occasions and made changes during development based on the fan reception to the game. And I want to read you a short list. Actually, it's kind of a long list of exactly some of the things that they have now made optional, or things that you can toggle. So you can turn on or off the following things, and we'll keep watching a little bit of Thief trailer. You can turn on or off navigation prompts, interaction prompts, which is the little blue glow that comes over like a door that you can open. Waypoint markers, threat icons, threat health meters, in other words, the health meters of the bad guys. The mini-map, which I actually specifically called out in my last preview. It was this big, dumb anchor on the lower, on like the right side of the screen that I was like, I just hated. Hated it. And you can get rid of it now. The rotation of the mini-map, reticle feedback, journal updates, pickup notifiers, the light gem, object highlights, the loot glint, so if you really want to really find everything yourself without the little eye candy that pops up, you can do that. The lockpick helper, frame search helper, Garrett's narrated hints, the health meter itself, the focus meter, the ammo counter, so the entire interface can be turned off, which I love.
Which is what you want, right?
It is what you want. But so many developers are just so set in their ways, or just they have they won't let their pride won't allow them to just let the fans toggle on and off the game they want to see.
Yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be a hard game. You're supposed to feel like, wow, I really accomplished something when you finish a level. And you could play a level I remember in the old games, I could play a dozen times and keep failing. And keep
yes.
failing. And you always get maybe a minute further. You get past one extra guard, or you get into one more room, and then it all goes wrong again. But let's back up a little bit and talk about some of the story elements we're seeing here, because it is a reboot. But I also see that Garrett's maybe got his mechanical eye, maybe got the scar that he earns halfway through the series.
Yeah, the mechanical eye thing at the end of Thief 1 never happened because this is a reboot of the Thief universe.
Right.
Which bums me out because the mechanical eye was such a great.
But if you go back there, he's got 2 human eyes in this case. So if you scroll back just a little bit, so right there, his eyes are totally fine. In a later sequence, you see it looks like he's got a scar, and that right eye is kind of
good eye, Steve.
Opaque.
See what I did there? Good eye. Yeah.
But this character is Aaron, and it's I guess maybe like an apprentice or like a junior partner or whatever, and she seems a little reckless and goes in when she shouldn't.
And then she dies, and spoiler alert, I mean, it's the beginning of the game, and then that's sort of Garrett's whole motivation for that's how he gets sucked into this new game world.
I think when somebody dies in a trailer, that doesn't count as a spoiler to me, right?
Wait, so let's take a look.
So go back. Did we see the eye there? So yes, he's got a scar.
There is a scar on his right eye.
Different colored now, right? And when he meets the older lady with the chessboard, it looks like her eyes have that kind of similar issues.
He's good. He's got a little scar there, but they do look different colored, don't they?
They do look different. So I don't know if this is the mechanical eye that he earned in the series previously, or if it's some sort of was the mechanist or the machinist. So yeah,
correct.
Her eyes are a little wacky too. But
you
you
definitely
can see clearly.
Different color. Like Max Scherzer, the pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, he has 2 different colored eyes.
Excellent
baseball reference in a Thief trailer.
You never expected it. But yeah, see her eyes right there on the right there. Her eye is kind of opaque and cloudy, and I'm not
she's
sure.
old and weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's just like a glaucoma thing or whatever. But his eye definitely changes from that first moment where we see him with Aaron on the roof to this later sequence.
By the way, the art direction in this game, having played it for a couple, is phenomenal.
Yeah,
like it actually looked like this is not a bullshot trailer.
Right.
The game actually looks like this.
Yeah, for people who are kind of trying to recognize what this is, Thief has always had kind of this Victorian
steampunk
feel. Yeah, steampunk. It looks like London, and it's grimy, but it's also slightly modern. So it's got this really great mix of styles. And if you have played a game like Dishonored, it's very similar in terms of the mood it's trying to evoke.
Yeah.
Although Dishonored, I think, is a little more fanciful than Thief ever gets.
There's a good look at our
man
there.
Clearly something's going on with this guy's eye. Something's definitely going on there. But we saw a couple of cool things. You see him using the blackjack. You see him using the arrow here.
Your trusty bow and arrow. Now, of course, you'll have water arrows to extinguish the torches. You have rope arrows to climb to previously inaccessible areas. There are noisemaker arrows.
And you're seeing the arrow used here like you would in something like Skyrim or whatever.
Right.
But in Thief, yeah, like you said, you have all these trick arrows, and they're mostly used to distract guards.
Yeah, you never want to actually use an arrow for its traditional purpose in Thief because you're doing it wrong.
Right. Which is why I'm saying like some of these action sequences, they kind of misrepresent the game a little bit, I think. But I understand why they're doing this for the trailer.
Marketing team, that's how it has to be.
So all those changes you listed, Steven Russell coming back is not one of them.
That is not on the list, and that's the one that haunts me. I would pay a $10 DLC fee for the Steven Russell voice pack.
Wow.
I'm just putting that out there right now. That's the one microtransaction I will happily bite on.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I loved what Eidos Montreal did with Deus Ex Human Revolution. I was actually even kind of a fan of Invisible War. I know a lot of people hated it. But
yeah, I'm with you.
I'm excited to see what they do with this franchise. It's good to see Garrett back. It's good to see it in the hands of a studio that obviously knows what they're doing with sort of a play the way you want to play type experience. Yep. And, I'm like you. I love the first-person stuff. I love seeing that in this game.
1080p, 30 frames on both next-gen consoles, and then, of course, the PC version will run it whatever you can throw at it.
And this is due out late February, right?
Late February. It is coming right up. We plan on. We're not done with this game yet, Steve. We still have some more we want to bring to you about this because honestly, Steve, I'm as such a fan. I want to love this, but I also I hold it to a very, very high standard because I'm such a fan. So if they can impress me, that'll make me happy. Which I know sounds really stupid and obvious, but that's just kind of if they mess this up, I'm gonna really call them out on it. But if they get it right, I'm gonna shout it from the rooftops.
That's awesome, and I love the little supernatural tease there at the end. That there's more than just human bad guys. Garrett is to me one of the great anti-heroes in gaming. and I couldn't be more excited to see him coming back. Now, the release date here, I think, is
there you go, February 25th.
That's the U.S. release date. It's out a little later than that in Europe, but yeah, can't wait.
For more on Thief, you're already in the right place here on IGN.